Hello, hi, welcome. I'm Symbiosis, and I just want to come on here and talk about Kamen Rider Gavv so far, as well as just a couple other things, really. So, if you like this style of video, perhaps you can give me a like or dislike if you don't like it. Leave a comment, let's kind of get a discussion going on here, and yeah, I guess without kind of meandering, let's get into it. So I guess to start, let's give some context. So when Gavv was coming out at the time, I remember everyone being very kind of disinterested and even apathetic towards Gavv's release. And it was kind of weird because it felt like I was the only one that was actually excited for it. So I remember seeing a video of someone kind of going over the premise of Gavv and just hearing it being like, okay, it's going to be a darker, more serious, serialized story. It's going to have a food-themed rider. They're going to have to deal with these monsters that come from another world. They have this organization. The protagonist is related to these monsters in some way. And I remember hearing this, and I was thinking, oh, so it's like Gaim. Which, I don't know if that sounds weird, but just, I remember hearing that, and I was thinking, yeah, this sounds very like Gaim-coded, and if it wasn't if I haven't said it enough, Gaim's my favorite season so far. So I was excited, and yeah, just everyone was like, eh. And apparently everyone disliked the suit, or the majority of people hated the suit. And I'm gonna be honest, this might be a hot take. I actually liked base Gavv suit design. I like the use of colors. I think the kind of the utility of it being armor that can like break off, or it can kind of use to like distract enemies. I think that's a really neat idea. I liked the more subtle use of monster designs, especially around like the gloves and like the boots having like kind of claws to them, the eyes being a little different, the helmet kind of having ears. I thought, okay, that's a really that's a nice subtle storytelling with the suit design, because yeah, Shoma isn't fully human, he's half monster. And yeah, I guess with the characters, I was a little worried at first. It felt like they're going to be a bit too saccharine, for lack of a better word. And I was pleasantly surprised to see that no, a lot of the more sweeter, naive acting characters are a bit more rounded. You know, Shoma wants to avenge the death of his mom, and he's kind of conflicted because the heads of Stomach Inc., you know, they're also technically his family, but they kind of pushed him to this. I like how Sachika, the reason why she runs a business of making people smile, because she feels like that's kind of like one of the things she's good at, and when she can't do that, she gets kind of sheepish and timid and even insecure to some extent. And it's nice to see them have layers. And I don't just mean I want everyone to be kind of like depressed and grim and moody and blah 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 blah. You know, it's nice to see, you know, Hanto, for example, who has like a lot of parallels to Shoma, although being more further along the lines of, oh no, they killed my mom and there's no good monster. It's kind of nice to see him have moments of brevity, of just kind of being more well-rounded and human. You know, it's nice that characters can have that balance. And I will say, another worry I had was more often than not when a show introduces a lot of characters, half of them end up being one note or barely in it at all. And it's nice to see that the Stomach Inc. members are interesting villains. You know, we just saw the arc wrap up about, you know, the twins, which I was not expecting one of them to survive. That was quite interesting. Curious to see where that goes further down the line. I like how they kind of, it looks like they're teasing up the scientist-looking guy. I'm terrible with names, so I'm just so terrible with names. I know it's like Shita, Jeeb, Glota, and the other two. I remember the more nerdy guy kind of having this connection to Hunto indirectly through... I forgot his name as well. It's nice to see things kind of fold out in a way that's, again, for lack of a better phrase, Gaim-esque, where you had all these kind of groups of people, but within these groups of people, there's like, oh, this person is going to set up a connection with that character and that character and that character, and then, you know, they're going to have a connection to these characters and those characters. You know, it's really interesting. It's really... I'm kind of intrigued. It's like, oh, what's going on with this character and what's going on with that character, you know? The main bad guy is probably my least favorite out of the Stomach Inc. members, just because it's like, okay, yeah, I get it, he's a businessman, he's kind of ruthless, he just wants to expand his candy-making empire. That's totally not a euphemism for drugs. Shit, not really surprised with. Seen it in Double, so... Who else? Oh yeah, Glota is,
Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy?
No comment. I think let's go over the suits then. So yeah, like I said, I enjoy Gavv's base suit design. In fact, I would go as far as to say I have enjoyed all the suit designs that they've shown so far. I think the only ones I really have a problem with would be Gavv's Chocodon and Marshmallow form, but for two rather nitpicky reasons. I think Marshmallows didn't really translate to 3D all too well. I think it definitely looked a lot better in the concept art for it. And Chocodon, while I do like the kind of Wild Western aesthetic they're going for, I think the colors are a bit monotone. And, you know, you can have a primarily monotone suit before. I think Double did it really well, especially with ones like Skull. It's just, when you compare it next to Valen's Chocodon form, it really does kind of feel like it's missing something. And I guess this kind of jumps into one of the issues I have, is I feel that we're cycling through forms really quickly, and some of the forms feel kind of obsolete before they have a time to shine. And what I mean by that is, you know, let's take Valen for example. You know, we had Valen introduced before we got Gavv Chocodon, and you look at their abilities side by side, it really feels like Valen is, you know, Chocodon, but can do so much more, and has more utility. So then it's just kind of like, okay, I guess in like certain situations, if Valen's not there, then maybe you could use Chocodon, but at that point it's just, if they're together, it's like, okay, well, why would you ever use Chocodon? Just, you know? And it's a similar thing with Marshmallow. You know, when Candy got introduced, you know, Marshmallow was kind of like the big, bulky, more tank-focused form, and then, yeah, Candy showed up, and it was like, okay, it's the even more defensive form that has a Gatling gun as well, and can use the sword, so it kind of makes both Marshmallow and Chocodon obsolete in that sense. So yeah, I remember watching the fight between Gavv and the twins, and I remember seeing both of them show up, and I was just like, oh yeah, they're there. And, you know, I understand if you get like a super form that makes older forms obsolete, but, you know, at least give us time to appreciate and see like them in like in action and be like, okay, cool, so like, you know, they've had their time to shine. Like, I'm fine with making forms obsolete if, you know, you went about it that way. But we're only on episode 14, and 2 out of the, what is it, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 forms, 2 out of the 7 kind of feel just pointless now, and it's like, yeah, I guess I guess it's kind of like my one big issue, more so with the show. Another issue I have is more so with the community is just, what is it with leaks? I mean, like, I get leaks. I get, like, why you want to look at leaks, especially for, like, new shows and all that, but I have been spoiled on, like, quite a few things, and it's not like I'm going onto, like, Reddit or Twitter and just being like, okay, I'm looking for this leak. Oh my god, I can't believe I found it. I'm talking, like, I'd be watching, it'd be, like, in my YouTube recommended. I would just be, like, scrolling through, and I was like, oh, here's Cake King. Here's Valen's donut form. Like, I remember I was watching a video. I can't even remember what it was about. It was definitely about... It wasn't about Kamen Rider. I think it was about Super Sentai. And it was just like... just for like a brief moment, they kind of just showed Valen's donut form. And I was like, okay, fuck me, I guess. Because Valen... Like, the donut Kuchizo didn't even show up. So it was just kind of like... Oh, okay. And you watch the episodes with that knowledge, and it's kind of like, instead of it being like, oh, is Gavv going to get a donut form? Is it going to function kind of like Ryugen's the Kiwi form? Is it going to have like these giant ring weapons? It's just kind of like, oh, okay, so Valen's donut form is going to show up soon. Or like when Gavv is giving Valen different Gochizos, and there's like that choice, and there's supposed to be like kind of pause there. It's like, oh, is he going to take the marshmallow form? Is he going to have like more of a bulky shooter form? It's just like, okay, no, so this is where Donut gets introduced. It kind of takes away some of the like the excitement and the awe, and I guess to an extent the tension. And I guess I can't really blame some of the CCs when giving the Cake King as an example. Bandai also spoils it. I mean, I don't even remember what the episode... It was definitely a couple episodes before Cake King's introduction, but I just remember seeing, like, right on the thumbnail, I was like, oh, here's Cake King's form, and here's the Gochizo, and it's all about, like, hey, collectors, here's the product, go and pre-order this, go and buy it, and go, you know, give us money, and it's like... Because it's really annoying, because... Yeah, like I said, if you're trying to find info on like a new show, or if it was like a game or something, then like I can kind of understand that to an extent, but you know, it's when it's like an ongoing show and you're trying to keep up to date with it, and you just get spoiled on stuff that hasn't even been released yet. It really takes away from the viewing experience, and yeah, it sucks. But yeah, I would say those are my gripes. But overall, I really like Gavv. At the end of the day, I really like the way it's written, I like the way it looks, I am excited for more of Gavv, as well as checking out some other Reiwa seasons, because yeah, this is kind of like my first step into this new era, so I'm kind of looking forward to going back and checking out Geats and 01, and maybe way down the line, I'll go and watch Revice and Saber and even Gotchard. So yeah, I don't really know how to end this, so bye.